Oh my gosh, guys, we're live. Put your stuff down. We're live again.
We're live on the internet?
We're live on the interwebs.
Smokes.
What's up, everybody, and welcome into the pregame show.
Let's
Felt like a lot.
Well, from them two. From you, I felt like...
I mean,
Like
how
North
is it
Korea,
that you're
not
just going
quite a
to
few
go
things.
paid sporadic on our asses and you're going to chastise me?
There's no way you thought that was a week, though.
His was weak. Yours was great.
I know. But he was...
His was weak. I just was calling it out.
Weak.
You know what? I'm a grader of your own cheer, and you didn't bring it so far. We got a great show tonight because it's the takeover, guys. We're taking over Ball Arena as the Nuggets host the Atlanta Hawks. We're going to go over some game notes. We're going to talk about something that might annoy all of us. The trade deadline. Just got a chaos grenade launched into it. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news.
I heard about it.
We're going to talk about Kyrie Irving and how he might be changing the upcoming week for everyone, including us.
I like that quickly that you can say in this environment the news, and that means ESPN.
ESPN, yeah, or just Twitter. To be honest with you, we set the bar too high. Later on in the show, guys, we're gonna have a new edition of the list. I'm excited to break down a play. I've actually broken down parts of this play before, or other actions inside of the RIP DHO action. But Denver's doing something really cool over the last like 5-ish games. Really, I think it goes back to when Adelman took over. I really do think that he was like, "I'm at the helm. Let's draw some stuff up. Let's get a little crazy." So I break down something interesting that really highlights why Denver is a unique team. And then, of course, Dev's going to make us rich beyond our wildest dreams. But first, Nuggets Hawks, what do you got for me, Vo?
All right, the latest game notes before updates that would be related to shoot around and all of that. The last official injury report, and this is as 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time.
Oh?
The Atlanta Hawks, Tyrese Martin is out, Donovan Williams is out, Trae Young, questionable non-COVID illness. For the Denver Nuggets, Cullen is out, Aaron Gordon is questionable, left ankle sprain, Bones Highland, probable non-COVID illness.
First of all, why do they call him probable?
Yeah, it's doubtful.
I think he's doubtful.
I think he's out.
Yeah.
Well,
He's out.
it would be hilarious if he came through tonight and just had a monster game.
Monster game.
Can you imagine?
I would love it.
It would actually be dope to give Bones a swan
What you're
song if
supposed
that
to
was
do,
what it
it's
was.
just like a farewell.
Farewell.
But, what
Fare thee
everyone's
well.
got their eyes and ears on here, Nikola Jokic also popped up on the injury report.
What?
Questionable with the left hamstring tightness.
Well, that
So
really
we'll
could
have to
ruin our
wait
day.
and see.
My God.
Let's check in on the Hawks, what they've been up to lately. They've won 2 games in a row, but it's about their last 10 for them, where they're 6-4, and the offense is finally trending in the right direction. Second in offense over that 10-game span, although across the season, they're about middle of the pack offensively and defensively, which kind of jives with their record. They're 13-11 at home, 14-15 on the road. They're a middle of the pack kind of team, but they've been figuring some things out lately. They currently sit in 8th place out east, 10 games behind the Boston Celtics. Boo.
So we just had a game without Aaron Gordon. 2 in a row, especially if they're both at home. Would it cause you any concern? I mean, we all thought that Aaron Gordon could use a little bit of rest.
No, this happens every year going into All-Star break time, where there are teams that stop taking things as seriously. There are players that start to like people get a little bit of senioritis when you have the All-Star break coming up, and so I actually think it's good. I prefer that he rests and gets everything in just ready to make that final push to the playoffs. So no. I mean, the Nuggets haven't been hurting from it either.
Dev, on a regular night, if Jokic's hamstring is 90%, maybe you give it a go. But on takeover night, how healthy does he have to be for you to say, "Hey, man, you got to give it a go tonight"?
I think that he should always give it a go on takeover nights. Every single time. It does not matter what happens.
I agree.
Other people have hamstrings. They could give it to him. You can borrow hamstrings these days.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have to jump.
Yeah.
How much of a hamstring does he
Not
need?
much of a
Get
jumper.
my hamstring.
Yeah. It's also just not a key part of the season. I just think that he's already missed quite some time right now. So I mean, I understand if he's actually injured, then you don't want to see him out there, especially with how Denver is first in the West and they've been playing so well. There's no point of pushing him. But if he can go.
Here's the thing with the Nuggets. They won 9 in a row. You guys remember that? Then Jokic started missing games kind of right around this exact time. And I feel like, and then, of course, the Philadelphia game, They went 1-3 over a 4-game stretch, some of those without Jokic. And it felt a little bit like, all right, you had a win streak. Now where are we?
Right.
Last 2 games have felt like get things back going again. Like you got a rhythm. You're starting to feel good. This last game, Murray, Jokic, awesome.
I agree with that.
You get 3 in a row at home. You come home for a homestand after you're licking your wounds from that 76ers game, and you get 3 in a row. It feels good. Feels like, all right, you stabilize things. Now you go out on a road trip right before the All-Star break, and let's get some things done. So for me, I'm not saying this game is important because it's Atlanta, but I do think it gives you some confidence. And oh, by the way, have you guys been looking at the standings lately, man?
Yeah.
The NBA, the Nuggets are in such a great spot, man.
It's unreal.
It really is a thing. I'll ask you this one, Vote. But it really is a thing, like, if you can keep this 5-game lead that they currently have over the second place Memphis Grizzlies, if they are 4-game, if you can maintain that, the longer you go in the season, the easier it becomes. Then you get to rest guys. Then you get to experiment with lineup combos. I actually think, if you're 1-2 games up, you're going to go down to the wire. If you can get a 5-6 game cushion between now and the next month, it really helps you.
Yeah, and there's a break coming. So I'm in favor of if these guys can go, if it's that kind of situation, well, they could play if they needed to. I would say play them. Obviously we don't know how bad the hamstring is, but right. I would love to see them go because I think you're right about the momentum and about how they were 5 minutes away in Philadelphia from the vibes being higher than they've ever been before.
All-time highs.
So I think you just want to keep the train on the tracks.
And I think Atlanta has been a good team recently, so I do think this will be a good test. Yes, they played last night. Nonetheless, I think this will be a good test. They have big wins recently.
Right.
Over Phoenix, a 30-point win over Phoenix. They got the one last night in Utah, so they have some good wins under their belt. All right, let's move on now, guys, to the news of note around the NBA. The trade deadline is 5 days away. And, how's the trade deadline going to be? We kind of know the names. We know this or that. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, presumably out of nowhere, Kyrie Irving says, demands a trade. Demands it. Demands a trade. Allegedly, and it's kind of hilarious. It's been tumultuous for him the last 5 seasons everywhere he's been, but especially in Brooklyn. It's crazy that he went in. The report was they sat down to do an extension talk. They made an offer to him that was so appalling that he didn't even want to rebuttal. He just said, we're done. We're done. I don't want to work with you anymore. So now he's on the trade market, and here's what really sucks, Dev. Where's he going to go? Nobody wants to take a risk on Kyrie Irving. Honestly, he could go a lot of places if it weren't the risk. The places that want him are Phoenix, Dallas, and I think those two are almost just let's make up some names. The Los Angeles Lakers. Kyrie is a chaos grenade. Their season is already wrecked. They can take the risk, but he's a hell of a player, a hell of a floor spacer, and you swapped Russell Westbrook for him. I honestly think the Lakers are good again.
Yeah, they're good again. I mean, you get to put AD, LeBron James, and Kyrie Irving together again. And it'll be the same thing that we seen last time when they had the big three and guys that just are good right now. Also, with the Lakers, it gives them relevancy again. Not right now, but moving forward. They're going to be dangerous this year, but next year and the year after that and year after that, it's as if there was not a bad time. It's as if they've been making the playoffs and things have been good over there. Because you just forget. And we know that Los Angeles, everybody wants to talk about LeBron. Everybody wants to talk about the Lakers all the time. Now you have Kyrie Irving to the mix, and they were going to lose him next year anyway, but at least it would have been to a sign and trade. They could do that now, and I think that LA is the only place that he can go. I think the other ones are just decoys.
Does this bother you, D-Line?
I hate it. I hate it. This is the NBA has to always remind you that there's the right way to do things, and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's like all this time. It's like you put all this time, this effort, this thought, this process, and then there's just some ridiculous trade that happens. Some superstar gets moved, and then all of the decks get reshuffled, and you're like, why? What are we doing? What is this? I can't stand this nonsense.
It's the Lakers have done everything wrong and are in no position right now to trade for a superstar. They're in no position. Except for there's just one who's wrecked the entire league and his own 2 or 3 different teams, and then there's the Lakers, and somehow they're going to be the beneficiaries of not their own poor management, but Kyrie's poor management of himself. Yeah, somehow come together to create the perfect thing. It's actually absurd.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's a terrible life lesson. Everybody is worse for it, but I also don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. Okay. I really just think that Kyrie Irving is just stomping his feet and trying to make, just force the hand.
Kyrie and Luka, that kind of reminds me of LeBron and Kyrie a little bit. I mean, there's something there. It also reminds you, I think, of Luka and Jalen Brunson a little bit.
Yeah.
Does that make Dallas better? Obviously, you have to give some stuff up. But
I think if you're a Dallas fan, it's outside of not liking him, it would be like, why not? That team's not winning, right, as currently constructed. So,
well, why not? I'll tell you why not. Right now, they're not worried about him leaving Dallas.
There you go.
And I think he is he's brought this up, guys, I have a long contract, whatever. Why are you guys worried about that? You go there and annoy the hell out of him with Kyrie. He might be like,
From the Denver perspective, I would kind of feel like that's an outcome that I would live with. And then you've really just taken the Nets off the board. But there is, and I don't know, how much would they have to gut that team to even get him? I guess there's not a lot of suitors, so maybe not. But the Nets should just be real ones and send them to Detroit. They should just be like, your list doesn't matter to me. I mean,
does Detroit want him, though?
Probably not.
But the thing is, nobody wants
they
him.
have to get things out of it. They need players. They need money. They do.
Plus,
he's on a huge contract right now, and they would get nothing for him.
Yeah, because his contract ends this year anyway. He'll go wherever he wants.
Yeah, but do they have any leverage to get anything? I mean, every team, like we said at the start of the show, there's maybe 3 teams that are doing this. So that limits the packages.
What about the Phoenix option here? I mean, that would be a Chris Paul swap, more or less. I mean, maybe there's a piece on each side or something there, but generally speaking, does that make Phoenix more dangerous to Denver specifically, Dev?
It does, just because it's two of the most the elite scorers in the league on the exact same team. Things have already been bad over there, so I mean, I'm not gonna say they can't get worse, because you could just add in Kyrie Irving to the mix. Is gonna get worse. But also, I think that it salvages a bad reputation as well, because they are going to be winning again. They're also going to be entertaining, and they're going to score every single time down, and it's what he's used to. So it'll be comfortable for them. I think it would be dangerous for Denver for the foreseeable future at that.
The thing to me that's the weirdest part of all of this is, what are the ripple effects? What happens? Then do you look at, does every team? I mean, we saw the report when the Kyrie news came out. 2 hours later, there was a report that was "There's more phone calls right now about what this means for KD than what it means for Kyrie." Nobody. There's only 2 or 3 teams that care about the Kyrie news, but everybody else is well, is KD just going to stay there and rot? Is he available? That to me, and I don't think that one happens at the trade deadline, just because teams don't get pressured into making Kevin Durant trades in 4 days like that. Yeah. You do for other players. But it does make me think that, maybe there's going to be teams that change their approach because they look at it and go, KD's available this summer. All right, let's change our plans here and what we do, how we approach it. And a team I'm thinking of right now, you guys will laugh, but the Golden State Warriors. They're a team right now that I'm looking at and I'm going, they've got Wiseman, who's terrible. They've got Kuminga. They've got Moses Moody. They've got Poole. They've got pieces right now that they could trade and go all in right now to make a run this year. Or they could be maybe Kevin Durant's available again and we'll come back, which is a possibility.
God damn it. This stupid league. This league!
You built so slow, every step matters. You're oh my God, we got Bruce Brown, who's great.
You're we don't skip steps, or we just never build them in the first place. Yeah, just jump right to the top.
There's also, this is rational-based fear and agitation, but there's also a small part of me that's what is this, the 4th year in a row now where I've been told at the deadline I got to worry about the Brooklyn Nets and where those guys are going and how it'll change the landscape of the NBA. And you know what?
It has, though.
Well,
James Harden made Philadelphia a legitimate contender where they weren't before.
Yeah, when they get out of the second round.
I know, right? How legitimate.
No, you're right. I'm being cheeky. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little cheeky. You are right, though, that we do this every time.
There's a small part of me that's close to being I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. The lessons of the last several years have been all right, okay, if we put Kawhi and Paul George together, that's unbeatable. If we put KD and Kyrie together and Ben Simmons, that's unbeatable.
Right.
And they keep making these weird Frankenstein abominations, and they keep not working. Unfortunately, it did for the Lakers, but that was the bubble. Even though we wanted it, it didn't count.
There you go. You know what? I agree with this. Guys, there's something cool that's been going on with the Nuggets lately. I always love, early on in a season, there's a playbook that a team has that's small. And as you go on, there's more and more, subtleties to it. The playbook is not that complex once you really break down an NBA playbook. They've got, 5, 6, 7 different entries, and then they run similar actions based on those entries. So it's, it's not that complex. But what's cool about the Nuggets, it's true of all teams, the deeper you go into the season, you start to build counters on top. Like, okay, we've been running this set, now let's tweak it by having these guys in different spots or having this guy do this instead. And you start to add layers. With the Nuggets, what's especially cool is you have Nikola Jokic.
That's right.
That is cool.
It's super cool because
So cool.
When people always ask me, or when people are talking about like, Jokic, is he that much better of an offensive player, this or that? Here's the thing. Jokic can play every position on the floor. Literally, sometimes floor spacer, sometimes ball handler, sometimes screener. Like, he can play any of them. And we're at a point in the season where Denver is starting to go 5, 6, 7 layers deep on the exact same action. So I did a list about it. Let's take a look.
So here's an example of a play that the Nuggets run all the time, and it's a very simple play. Every team in the NBA has this in their playbook. Horns, rip, DHO. We're going to start by horns. You have a player in each corner. Right now, Michael Porter's lifted, but he needs to be in the corner. And then you got 2 players on the elbow. When the Nuggets run horns, rip, DHO, their most common configuration has Aaron Gordon bringing the ball up, because what you're getting is this back screen, guard to big. And then after the back screen, a handoff, the dribble handoff. So this is the rip screen, this is the dribble handoff, and horns is the configuration. The reasons it's effective is you don't want to switch a guard right here onto a power forward, so you have to try to fight through the screen. And in fighting through, this guy guarding Jamal, the screener, has to kind of protect him for 1 second by sinking into the paint. You're going to see that he doesn't do that. He's too afraid. He knows this dribble handoff action is coming, so he doesn't help out. And as a result, it's an easy pass because the screen was effective. An easy pass right to the rim for a wide open layup. Here's perhaps the most popular option you'll recognize. Murray back screen. They don't want to switch. Defender has to help off, so we have a handoff. All right, here's another example. Run it the traditional way. Entered into Jokic. You got Murray right here, so he's going to set the back screen. Portland does a good job of switching this one. You see they hand off and get under it so that Murray doesn't have. He actually probably should have run off the screen on that one, but he didn't. But it doesn't really matter because you still generated a very, very favorable switch with the rim protector having to step out here and Hart trying to guard inside. Even just a wild pass makes for an easy dunk. Here's an example of the play not working as planned. First, you get the back screen, and you're going to get the switch. They're going to put Torrey Craig, who they feel like they can switch onto Murray, and then a Kogi here. And you're going to see Aaron Gordon immediately tries to go for the lob. Throw it up. Jokic doesn't like it. So we're just going to run it again and watch Murray here. So you clear out. Now we're just going to run pick and roll. A nice little fake, and he gets the switch. Oh, now I'm going to cook a center. No problem. So even when it doesn't work, it creates mismatches on the court. Aaron Gordon now has great rebounding position. Jokic has, okay, even though Torrey Craig's a good defender, he's able to force another switch off that quick move and get a bucket. The second way you can run this is by putting Jamal as the ball handler and Aaron Gordon as the trigger. Again, entry into Jokic, and you're going to get the back screen. Usually what happens is you'll get the switch with the player, Aaron Gordon in this case now on the inside, and then you just slip, and you get the easy answer there. But it's the same play design, whereas if you don't get that, if they just chase Jamal here, this guy sinks, then you can get Aaron Gordon running off the side, or you can get him setting a screen, a ball screen. So you can either run the dribble handoff option or the pick and roll option. But instead, they switch, high side, yoke nose, easy read. Another way you can run this is with Aaron Gordon completely out of it. So instead you're going to run Bruce Brown as point. You're going to stick Aaron Gordon in the corner here. Same thing. Post entry to yoke, back screen. There's the rip, and here's the dribble handoff. And what you're really getting is just a little two-man game with Jokic and Murray. But what you do by putting your bigs out here is you take your big rim protector, your help side rim protector, out of the equation. Instead, we're going to have Jose Alvarado come down here to the post. We're just going to run a little triple action. And then you can see Jose is the guy that has to step up on Jokic here. See him? Yeah, that's too easy. That might as well be a wide open shot. All right, so here you get set up in elbow and this horns again, and you can see the pass gets a little bit too far. Now, I don't know if the play was called for this would be horns, rip, elbow, get, which would be a pick and roll instead of a dribble handoff, meaning Murray's going to hold the ball here instead of hand it off to Jokic. But when you get pushed out this far, there's nowhere for Jokic to come. He would be trapped too far along the sideline. So instead, you can just either audible, or maybe this was the play called. You still get the rip screen, and then you get right into the pick and roll. And, of course, this is just peanut butter jelly time. Okay, so here is a perfect example of now doing things the opposite way, where typically you would enter to yoke and do the back screen and have Murray here, or you can even put Gordon here, but usually you would have Murray setting the back screen with Gordon. Instead, now you're going to enter here and use Jokic as the guard. So Jokic in the guard spot, he sets the handoff. You can watch, doesn't really get that good of an exchange here, but the defense thinks they have to sink down. So we're going to hand off, get Jokic popping outside, and he fills enough space to be able to get that shot off. We come down and we're going to run it again, but we're going to get something different out of it this time. You can see, same thing. We're faking like we're getting the ball over here. And what I like on this one is Aaron Gordon goes inside. I don't know if they're calling a different play here. Typically, if you're getting this like double stagger, then you're going to get him coming off. But instead, it looks like there's a little confusion as to what play we're supposed to be running. You get the handoff action, so it's still like the previous play. And now you're attacking a scrambled defense, guys guarding things in ways they weren't expecting, and you get the easy dunk. All right, we'll see a couple more examples here. Back screen, and you can see they don't know what to do. Don't want to switch 1-5, so he sinks for a half second. Yoke's going to come off here, but as soon as he releases, nobody home. Another example. Entry, screen, look at how far they sink. So Yoke knows, pop. By the way, this is a switch. And now we got Yoke popping out for 3.
Wow! Isn't that crazy?
Insane.
Wow, that was insane. Honestly, in all sincerity, though, really fun play, and you'll look for it now when Yoke's in that role, setting the rip screen and getting the dribble handoff. It's just like it's akin to setting your left tackle as the wideout. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's so unconventional and so random, but only King Yoke can do it. All right, let's all make some money. Dev, open up DraftKings Sportsbook. What do we got?
Well, the thing is,
Yeah, this is tough right now.
this is very, very early.
no
in the
team
day.
props.
They
It's
have
tough,
no team props right
Still?
now.
Oh,
no
man.
player props.
So what we have to do is still make money. That's
right.
what we have to
Get
do.
creative for me.
So the line is 7.5. The reason that it's still 7.5, they on the second night of a back-to-back. Also, Trae Young and DeJounte Murray played last night.
Yeah.
Trae Young is still questionable, so they're like waiting for that line to move. I don't care if he plays. It's 7.5. Denver is favored. It's for a reason. They're going to win. 7.5 is one that I really like. They also
Really?
they bring it on takeover nights, man. They just really do.
They beat the Magic at the buzzer, but yep, all right.
That was
No,
good
that was
defense
sick,
by
though.
them.
It was a Jokic game winner.
It was
Yeah.
sick.
Defense by
I'm
them.
just saying, they didn't exactly bring it that night.
Watch it tonight.
right.
Over is
good
232
defense.
over under. I'm gonna go the over in this game. Like we just discussed earlier, this has been the second best offense in the league for the last couple of games.
10.
10 games. Now Denver's been playing well. Also, Jokic is getting whatever he wants. He has been. He's gonna again. Capella has no chance against him. So I like the over 232 in this game. We're gonna go over to team props. They have the
props
Hawks
yet.
over. They got the Hawks over under of 112.
Damn it.
I think they get the over on it. I sadly do. They're going to get the over.
I do as well.
But also, Denver is going to get the over as well. So,
there you go.
over 112, over 119 for Denver. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game for them.
Okay.
First night
Alright.
of a back-to-back for them. So, I think this is the game that they could get it done. We'll go over to...
I love that you don't have to make up lies. You can just tell who you
I
think
like
going to go
it
off.
still. I
All
like
right,
it.
All right.
The first quarter, Denver is favored by 3 points.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give them the 3. I like for them to come out hot. If you don't feel comfortable with the 3, you could go with the Denver money line. I do
I'm
think
taking
this is
it.
the game that they're going to start out well and just be able to extend the lead. And then the last one that I like, Denver -4 in the first half. I like it.
I love that you.
The man can only work with what he's
incredible.
given.
I know, and
He's
he
doing
honestly
great
made a
work.
full
I'm
segment
really
out of this.
impressed that you-
We took quarter, we took half, we took game.
We like it. This is a Denver
My man likes
takeover.
it. My man likes it.
Real
We're
quickly,
gonna
though,
get
just for player props, I know we don't have them, but how many threes is Michael Porter making tonight? Going up against his buddy Trae Young.
2.
He's only making 2 tonight?
He's going to make 3, but when the props do come, because they are going to be there, take Jamal
Murray.
threes. Take them, no matter what.
No
It's going to
question.
be over 2.5.
He's going to shoot the hell out of him.
He's going to hit over 2.5. That is the lock of the day.
Until
he's
he gets
also
the
playing.
record.
He's playing in this game, so
That's
his is
right.
going to come.
You're right.
Until he gets the record, you bet over on Jamal threes.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
taking Michael Porter threes, you guys.
I love that. I'm just looking at this. 82% of bets placed in this game are on Denver. They're just like monster favorites, dude.
All right.
That's crazy.
Well, there you go. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and party with all of our amigos. We'll see you guys in the post-game show as the party bus returns back to Denver. We'll see you guys.